I'll tell you about one instance. We had to go through a tunnel one night, and it was dark, and we had this one Yugoslav that was with us, and his name was Despolovich, and I wished I could find him because he helped save our lives. But we had entered this tunnel, and it was dark as pitch. And we had got about halfway through this tunnel. We heard them voices, and we didn't know, and we heard the bolt action, guns, and we thought that would be the end right there. But it happened to be partisan soldiers from Tito.
Right.
Tito had partisan soldiers,
Fighting
and they were all up in the hills, and they had left the homelands and everything else. So we, they helped us. We found out they had a light, and they were partisan soldiers, and they helped us on the way.
Did during the time you were making your route and escape out of that enemy territory, did you encounter any German soldiers or any German?
I encountered a lot of German tanks and motorized vehicles, but we were in the wooded areas, and we were close to them. At some point, we were within 10 to 20 feet of a German tank.
Wow.
But it was in the darkness.
Right, and they couldn't see you.
That's right. They couldn't see us.
Well, how did you finally make it to that coastline, Mr. Wesley?
Well, we kept traveling from one little village to another, and we finally made it down to the little town it's on the coastline of Split. And we stayed there. It was the town was actually vacated. There was no one in the town but very few people. And one night we got a John boat. We didn't know where we were going, and they paddled us over to a little island, and they had an airstrip over there. And they had radio contact with our base from that island.
And from there you made your way back to the...
And from that time, they flew a C-47 in to pick us up. There was only two of us, and we never encountered no other crew member that was on the 10 that was on the crew. We never encountered none of them. So supposedly, the Germans captured the 8, and they were executed. They were executed.
We'll be right back in just a moment and hear Mr. Wesley Chester's story of being shot down and making his way back to American lines during World War II in 1944.
Don's Carports, Canopies, Awnings, and Portable Buildings has been covering your valuable vehicles and recreation equipment and storefronts for 30 years. Our carports are built with 30-year tubing and 30-year sheets, and we stand behind our product, we stand behind our service. Don's Awnings, aluminum, cloth, or vinyl, will dress it up and draw the eye to your storefront or business. Use a modern stripe or a bright color. Stop by and see Don's latest design of portable on-site buildings, the quick setup solution for emergency products or temporary job sites. Don's is a Robbins dealer and has a variety of Robbins portable buildings on site. Come out and walk the lot to see our selection, or you can special order a custom build. Carports, canopies, awnings, or portable buildings, Don has the solution for what you need. Stop by or give him a call, 275-3586.
When it comes to repairs or installation, B&C Fence can handle any job. With over 20 years of experience, B&C Fence Company can meet all your expectations. Repairs, installations, free estimates. Insurance claims also accepted. Over 20 years of experience speaks for itself. So call on B&C Fence Company at 272-2982 or 697-0680 for prompt service.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Mr. Wesley Chester. Mr. Chester, when all this was happening, you were shot down, you were missing in action approximately 6 weeks, nobody knew anything about you. What about your family, your mama?
Well,
that's my wife always says, oh, it must have been horrible for his mama.
Well, it was on December the 18th, and I felt sure that maybe the War Department they would notify my family that we were missing in action, and it would ruin the Christmas, because on Christmas, from a large family, we had a big reunion every Christmas and Thanksgiving, and I knew if they got this message before Christmas, it would be kind of bad for the family. But it was luckily the War Department did not notify my family until about the middle of January.
That you were missing in action.
in action.
Well, you were about get back home by then.
By then, I had already written, when I got back, I had written my mother and to let her know that I was all right, and then later they got a notice that I was back safe again.
Mr. Wesley, I don't think I've ever asked you this. Did you fly anymore after that?
We came back and we had lost a lot of weight, and they sent us to many rest camps we thought sure we were going to be able to go back to the States. They sent us to the Isle of Capri for recreation.
Rest and recreation.
And then they sent us to Rome, Italy, Cairo, Egypt. We went to many places to try to pick up some weight. And we thought sure we was coming back to the States, but they had bad news for us. We had to start flying again or either go to work on the line.
Good Lord. So you went to flying again.
So we had to fly again on my next mission. We were hit so bad, I thought we was going to be interned, and we called for the Swiss fighters so we could go into Switzerland to be interned. They would not come up. You had to be escorted into Switzerland by the Swiss fighters. They did not come up. So we had to creep over the Alps mountains with 2 engines out. And we barely made it over the Alps mountain, and we made it safely back to our base on 2 engines. And we had been shot, had 284 holes in the plane. 284 holes in the plane.
Shot in the plane.
From anti-aircraft fire.
Wow. Well, Mr. Wesley.
And no one in the plane was hit, but I did make a night mission the only night mission we ever made, that I made. The bombardier got hit in the leg and almost bled to death before we got back to our base.
Wow.
And I never thought I would see a fireworks like the anti-aircraft fire when it exploded at nighttime, and that was some kind of fireworks.
You've never seen one over here like that, have you?
No, I shouldn't have, never have.
Mr. Wesley, I want to thank you for being our guest today. They're signaling me on our time. I hope our viewers have enjoyed this. We're going to try to have Mr. Wesley back on another show and talk about some of his other exploits and things that he did in World War II. I want to say that men like Mr. Wesley Chester, they're the reason that we can have TV stations today and talk about it and express our opinions and enjoy the freedoms that we have in this country. Mr. Wesley Chester and men like him fought and gave their lives, gave their blood, and thank God that Mr. Wesley made it back, and as he said, the good master stood with him. The good master has stood with our country. He has blessed the United States of America for us to enjoy the freedoms that we enjoy today, and let us ever be vigilant. Let us never forget the sacrifices that men like Mr. Wesley Chester throughout our history have made and continue to make today. Let's say a prayer tonight for our fighting men in foreign lands that are working and fighting to ensure our freedoms. Mr. Wesley, thank you for being my friend, and thank you for making it back and being able to tell us about it.
Well, I certainly appreciate you asking me to be on, and what mostly that I would like to emphasize is through prayer, most anything can happen for you.
And I think we can say amen to that. Thank you, Mr. Wesley.
Right.